I hope that you are well, and I also hope that you are having a good day so far. Today, we'll be doing our grade 1 English lesson on adjectives that compare. And before we start, we're going to log on to aplusstudents.ca. Once you've logged on to aplusstudents.ca with our username as well as our password, and then we're going to select the subject of language arts, grade 1, and then we're going to scroll down up until we get to the chapter of adjectives that compare. All right, so our chapter is adjectives that compare. Our subject is English language arts. Grade 1, and the lessons that we are focusing on under the chapter of adjectives that compare is to compare pictures using comparative and superlative adjectives, and to identify comparative and superlative adjectives. All right. So when it comes to adjectives that compare, in our previous lesson we did adjectives, right? And we said that adjectives, it basically either describes the noun, it tells us more about the noun, or we can even say it modifies the noun, right? And the noun is, of course, people, animals, places, or things. So that is the noun that it either describes, it compares, or it modifies, right? That's an adjective. So it tells us more about people, animals, places, or things, which is the noun. But now, in this chapter, we're doing adjectives that compare, right? And some adjectives, they compare people. So some adjectives, we say they compare people, they compare animals, places, or even things, right? And with that, we have a comparative adjective and we have superlative adjectives, right? So comparative adjectives, it compares two people or to animals or to places or to things, right? So it compares two, whether it's to people, to animals, to places, or to things, right? And when we compare these two people, these two nouns, right, then it ends, our noun, it ends with an ER. So it ends in ER. For example, Andy is taller than his sister. So Andy is taller than his sister, right? So if we compare, either to people, to animals, to places or things, right? Then, like we say, our word then ends with an er. So the adjective will end in the er. So, for example, if we compare Andy and his sister, right? So if we compare Andy and his sister, then we will say that Andy is taller than his sister. So it's basically saying Andy is tall, right? Right? So Andy is tall. But now when we compare Andy to his sister, then we can say he is taller than his sister. So we say Andy is taller than his sister, right? So now we're comparing Andy and his sister, which is we are comparing two people. So Andy is taller than his sister. And as you can see, it ends with an ER. Then we have the superlative adjective. Superlative. And superlative adjectives, it compare more than two people, animal, places, or a thing. And when we, for example, compare more than two people, animal, places, or thing, our adjective is going to end in est. It's going to end in est. And an example is he is the tallest. There we have tallest person in his class. Tallest. Right? So we started off by saying Andy is tall. Right? So we know Andy is tall. But if we compare Andy to someone else, right, then we say Andy is taller. Right? Because now we have compared Andy to his sister. So we say Andy is taller than his sister because now we're comparing two people. As soon as we compare Andy to more than two people, if we compare Andy, right, his height to his whole class, right, then we can say he is the tallest person in his class. Right, so he's the tallest person in his class. And there we have a comparative adjective, and comparative ends with an er. It compares either to people, to animals, to places, or to things. Then we have the superlative adjectives, which compares more than two people, more than two animals, places, or things, and it ends with an est. So that is comparative adjectives where we are comparing, right? So you're either comparing animals, you're comparing people, you're comparing things, or you're comparing places, right? And like I say, if you're comparing two people, places, animals, or things, we call it a comparative adjective and it ends with er. If you're comparing more than two people, animal, places, or thing, it now ends in an est, right? All right. So this is comparative adjectives, right? Or adjectives that compare. They're comparing to one another. All right, so we are going to aplusstudents.ca, where we are going to be doing a tutorial as well as our test. So we're going to the first lesson, which says compare pictures using comparative and superlative adjectives. All right. And once again, right, we said that some adjectives compare people, it compare animals, it compare places, and it compare things, right? We have comparative adjectives and we have superlative adjectives. Our comparative adjectives, it compares to people, to animals, to places, or to things. And then we have superlative adjectives where we compare more than two people, animal, places, or thing. They end in est. And even if you look at the pictures, right? Even if you look at the pictures, they basically tell us, like let's say two people. Yes, yeah, we only have two people standing, right? So which means that we are comparing that two pictures or that two people. And it shows that Andy with the red t-shirt on is taller than his sister with the green on. All right. All right. So now we need to look at the pictures, right? We're going to look at pictures and we're going to compare the pictures using either comparative or we're going to use superlative adjectives, right? But we are going to be looking at the pictures. So it's like asking which one is softer. We need to say which one is softer. All right, if we look at these two pictures, right? Which picture do you think is a bit softer? Is it this yellowy chick or this black little animal there at the bottom? All right, and if we look at these two pictures, right, then the picture, the yellow chick, we can say the yellow chick is softer, right? Because now we're using comparative adjectives. It is softer, right? And that's a comparative adjective because we are comparing it to that other animal there at the bottom. So basically, a baby chick is much more softer than the other animal. All right, if we look at the trains, right, we need to say which one is longer. Is it the red train or is it the green train? Which is longer? So we need to say which one is longer. And if we look at the train that is a bit longer, is it the red one or is it the green one? So we can then say the red train. So I'm even going to write it down. So I'm only going to say longer, and there we have our word longer that ends with an ER. So the red train is longer. So it's longer than the green train. Yes, so the red train is longer. So well done. All right. All right, if we look at these two pictures, there we have a fire and we have a light bulb. So we need to say which one is hotter. Is it the fire or the light bulb? So if we look at both of the pictures, right? If we look at both of the pictures, then the top one, we can say that one is hotter than the bottom one. So we can say the bottom one is a bit colder. So we then look at the fire, and then we will say that the fire is hotter than the light bulb. Exactly. So the fire is hot. All right. So far we have identified either comparative or superlative adjectives in the form of a picture, right? So we say that we are comparing adjectives, we are comparing two people, animals, places, or things, and it ends in er. And then we have a superlative adjective, right? All right. So we made an example of Andy being taller or being the tallest, right? And we once again make an example of what the comparative adjective is, what the superlative adjective is. All right. So yes, the red train is the longest speed train, as stated on the picture, right? And the fire is very hot. So well done. Ne? So if we compare those pictures also to other pictures, then we will say the train is also longer, and we also say the fire is hotter or the hottest. One of that two. So either hotter to show comparative adjective or hottest to show superlative adjective. All right, so now we're going to our test. And we're going to say which one is smaller. Is it the purple car or the orange truck? So which one is smaller, the purple truck or the no yeah the purple truck or the orange truck? We need to say which one is smaller. All right. So if we are to find, or let's say if we were to select the correct adjective, right, and say which one is smaller, and then yes, we're going to say the purple one is smaller than the big orange truck. So well done, everybody. Well done. Which one is fatter? Is it the first one on top or the second one at the bottom? One that is more fatter. All right. And if we choose the correct one, we're going to choose the either the chicken or rooster that is going to be that is, not it's going to, but that is fatter than the other one. All right. And if we choose the correct one, then yes, we will choose the first option, right? Because that one is fatter than the other grayish one that is very thin. So well done, guys. Well done. Which one is louder in roar? Is it a little cat? So if we were to say which one is louder, like that roars even louder, is it the first one or is it the second one? If we look at the two, we can say the lion then is the loudest, right? So the lion is in louder than the cat, right? Because remember, a cat it purrs, a cat meows, but a lion it roars. So if we were to say which one is louder, we will say the option two. The lion is louder. All right. Which one is smaller? If you look at these two birds, right? Which one is smaller? The top one, number one, or the bottom one, number two? Taller. I'm sorry, smaller. All right. And if we were to say which one is smaller, is it the top one that has got a more purpley green color, or this gray bird at the bottom? So if we were to say which one is smaller, then yes, we would say it is option one, the small birdie, right? With the beautiful purple and green color. So which one is faster? We need to say which one is faster. The first one or the second one? So now we need to say which one is faster. And we can say that this at the bottom is faster than either the tortoise there on top. So which one is fast? Is it a guy on the bicycle or someone walking? Which one is going to be faster? So the man that is faster, and if we say which one is faster, then we can then say that the bicycle. Because remember, with the bicycle, you are not even putting that much effort; you are just pedaling, right? All right. If we look at both of that, like if you look at the beanies that they have on, which one do you think is a bit warmer? Which one do you think is warmer? Yes, well done, guys. All right. Something that is warmer, is it the first option or is it the second option? All right. So if we look at the beanies, right? I'm going to start with the second beanie. That beanie just covers, of course, the head, right? But now, if we go to the first beanie, first beanie, it is more like a snowy fur, covers the ears, covers the back of the neck. So if we then say which one is warmer, then we will go with the first one, first option, right? So the first option we can say is more warmer because, like I say, with option two, you still cover your ears, your neck, everything. All right. Which one is higher? Is it the first option or the second option that is higher? So if we were to say which one is higher, right? Remember higher. Yes, so well done. The first option is higher than the second one. So well done, guys. Well done. All right, so now we're going to A plus students, A plus classes.ca, and we're going to learning materials. We're going to reading, and we're going to scroll right down. All right, and we're going to go to read along audiobooks level 1. All right. And if we look at all of these pictures, right, we are now going to read one of the books. And of course, it is an online, not an online, but it's an audio. That's the word. It's an audio book, right? Where all you're going to have to do is listen. All right. So since it is spring, let's go, yeah. All right.
It's Spring by Holly Hartman. Hunt for eggs. Plant seeds. Fly a kite. Dig worms. Watch for rain. Play ball. Smell flowers. Scoop mud. It's spring.
All right. So in this book, right, audiobook, it is spring and they're telling us about all the other things that we do during springtime, the things that you can do um during springtime or since it is springtime, right? All right. All right. So we then did adjectives that compare, right? So we say that adjectives that compare, which is our chapter, right? If we compare adjectives, we have a comparative adjective and we have some superlative adjectives. Comparative adjectives, it compares to animals, people, places, or things, whereas a comparative adjective, right, it compares itself to more than two people, animal, places, or things. All right, so if we compare adjectives, it is just basically as comparing people, animals, places, or things. All right, guys, thank you very much for joining the class. Thank you for interacting, and I really hope you're going to have a good day or evening further. Goodbye.